Let me just say something to all my conspiracy-oriented friends on the right who think I'm planning to unleash some secret agenda. You're absolutely right. So allow me to close with a quick preview of the secret agenda you can expect in a second Obama administration. In my first term, I sang Al Green. In my second term, I'm going with young Jeezy. In my first term, we ended the war in Iraq. In my second term, I will win the war on Christmas.
May not be a nativity scene on the lawn of the state capitol this year, but there will be a satanic holiday display. Backers say it's all about free speech and freedom of religion. Jane Park went to Lansing. She checks in at number 10.
It's a question of First Amendment rights here at the state capitol tonight after a Satanist group announced it will erect its own holiday display just steps away from the Capitol Christmas tree. No manger, no little Lord Jesus. This holiday display by the Satanic Temple features a snake wrapped around a cross. It reads, "The greatest gift is knowledge," and it's coming to the state capitol.
The snake kind of represents a myth of human enlightenment and curiosity and, the real liberation of the human spirit and minds.
John Truscott of the Michigan State Capitol Commission says there was really nothing they could do to stop it.
The Constitution, First Amendment rights do protect free speech, so that would be allowed. Personally, I am so opposed to this.
Truscott says earlier plans for a Christian nativity scene fell through when the person who wanted to put it up couldn't find anyone to break it down each night. Capitol rules don't allow permanent displays. Jex Blackmore and her group jumped at the opportunity, but she's not trying to hijack Christmas.
Certainly not something to kind of spite any certain faith. It's really just an affirmation of our own beliefs on the holiday season.
A publicity stunt, maybe, but now others are rallying to get the nativity scene back on the Capitol lawn. Senator Rick Jones says he'd be willing to put one up himself.
The Satanists have actually maybe created some Christmas holiday spirit by bringing attention to this, and now we've got somebody willing to do the other side of it in the spirit of the holiday season.
The group's Snaketivity Scene will be on display here from December 21st to the 23rd, and it could very well be set up right next to a traditional nativity scene. In Lansing, Jane Park, 7 Action News.
A battle brewing at the state capitol tonight. A group of Satanists wants to put up this as a holiday display. It's as anti-nativity as you can get, and they're calling it a Snaketivity Scene.
Now, it's not a question of if they can. They already have the state's blessing. But as WNEM TV5 Gino Vici reports tonight, it's generating some real controversy.
The group got a permit to put up a nativity scene.
But it's not the kind you may be thinking of. Take a look. This is a picture of the Snaketivity Scene that will soon be placed on the lawn of the Capitol building in Lansing. And State Senator Rick Jones isn't too happy about it.
Now, under religious freedom, they have the right to do that. But to go without a nativity scene, I think would be horrible.
The group behind the Snaketivity Scene is the Satanic Temple in Detroit. Their permit to display the statue was recently approved, and now Senator Jones is making some strong accusations against that group.
I think this was an effort by a satanic group to hijack Christmas. They don't like Christmas, and they want to attack it.
We reached out to the Satanic Temple of Detroit. This is what they had to say. Quote, "The claim that we are trying to steal Christmas is absurd. Our display celebrates the holidays and affirmatively promotes our beliefs. We are not opposed to any other group placing a representation of their beliefs alongside ours as long as the Capitol accepts religious imagery on their grounds." According to state officials, a nativity scene can be placed on the lawn of the Capitol building as long as it's broken down and removed at the end of the day. While Jones is upset about the satanic display, he does admit the group has every right to do so. Moving forward, Senator Jones says he will do everything in his power to get a traditional nativity scene at the Capitol building and in time for the holidays.
And I personally, with the help of a few other senators, will make sure that there's a nativity scene put up and taken down every day.
Controversial display from the Detroit Satanic Temple is now on the front lawn of the state capitol. It comes a few days after a Christian nativity scene was put up. As News 10's Joy Wang reports, the Satanic Temple is hoping to start a conversation about religious diversity.
Before sunrise, a controversial display made its way to Michigan's capital.
We heard that the nativity scene was being considered, and we really felt that a singular voice shouldn't be the only voice represented by the Capitol and by our government, considering the fact that there are a diversity of beliefs and ways to celebrate the holidays.
But their display wasn't welcomed by people like Senator Rick Jones.
The Satanic Temple in Detroit purposely put up their display during this season to be offensive. It's their First Amendment right. I'm going to ignore them, and I'm going to remember the light of the season, not the darkness.
This nativity scene is less than 200 feet from this display, which the Satanic Temple calls a snaketivity.
We're not here trying to say that one belief or one practice should be favored over another. We're just here to celebrate our affirmative beliefs, and we are happy and encourage other people who have any other beliefs to celebrate theirs as well.
Which some people found underwhelming.
I'm not offended at all. I don't think anybody's really going to be. I think the statement that they made was kind of lackluster.
The Satanic Temple says they're hoping to start a religious conversation.
People have the right to be offended, and they have the right to protest, and that goes both ways. And that hopefully, our display encourages and inspires others who have a minority belief to speak out.
Something both religious groups have done. In Lansing, Joy Wang, News 10.
Capitol Security has 24-hour video surveillance on both displays. Michigan State Police say it's to make sure people's First Amendment rights are protected and that their views are respected.
A group known as the Satanic Temple of Detroit is causing some controversy with their own version of a nativity scene here outside the Capitol in Lansing, and today lawmakers are speaking out against it. With the holidays fast approaching, the front lawn of the state capitol could soon become the front lines of a battle over religious displays.
It's offensive to the millions of Christians that reside in this state.
Senator Tupac Hunter from Detroit, among those angry with the group Satanic Temple of Detroit, planning a so-called Snaketivity Scene display before Christmas.
Obviously an attempt to mock religious freedom and scorn Christianity specifically, I think is inappropriate and it should be addressed.
Hunter isn't alone. Upon learning of the satanic display, he and State Senator Rick Jones from Eaton County deciding to put up an actual nativity scene. It's being donated by Bronner's, the store where it's always Christmas. Jones will even have it taken down and set back up at the start and end of every day to comply with Capitol rules.
I was very frustrated because nobody was going to counter it. So I've stepped up. I'm going to be putting up the display every day. It'll be up at noon this Friday, right through Christmas.
In a statement to 7 Action News, Detroit's Satanic Temple says, so long as religious iconography is permitted on Capitol grounds, we believe that our community is best served if represented by images from a diversity of beliefs and traditions, rather than our government promoting a single faith over another.
They also have been successful in other states where the legislators just throw their hands up and say, okay, we'll have no displays. Well, that's giving in to the satanic cause. I won't do that.
Senators Jones and Hunter are particularly passionate about this and say they're not going to stop anyone else's freedom of speech rights, but they are going to defend their right to have their own nativity scene out here.
This year, you'll see a nativity scene at the state capitol in Lansing, and because of that, you'll also see something very different.
The Satanic Temple is being allowed to create its own holiday display this year, and as Fox 2's Dave Spencer shows us, not everyone is happy that the devil is getting equal time.
Surrounded by demons, skulls, and other symbols, the people who worship at the Satanic Temple in Detroit are used to being questioned and misunderstood.
We really try to provide rational insight wherever the satanic voice might benefit.
That is exactly why they're doing what they're doing, creating their own version of a holiday display to be seen on the steps of the state capitol in Lansing.
It's a poignant time, or a very important time, to remind legislators and to provide, and empower people who have perhaps beliefs that are not mainstream, that this is an opportunity at a time to have your voice be heard, and to make sure that we're all aware that this is a diverse community that we live in.
Getting to this point with the sculpture was no easy task. The artist had to follow a 50-page rule book outlined by the state before this sculpture could ever be installed in front of the Capitol. That means it had to meet certain height requirements, certain length requirements, and certain width requirements, all of which the sculpture does meet. so it will be on display soon.
It seems like they already were kind of tweaking the rules with people like us in mind.
The idea behind it is to get people talking about various types of religions and beliefs.
The holidays are always a time, or tend to be a time where families and friends come together in conversation, and that perhaps this time of year it's best to involve conversations about divergent beliefs or about some larger context that's going on right now in America.
The display won't be welcomed by all.
This is strange. Christmas is being hijacked by Satan. I understand that there is liberty, religious freedom. You have the right to freedom of speech. But, there are limits to how rights are supposed to be exercised.
Some question the timing of the installation. Why does it have to be Christmas?
I don't think it's a coincidence that this particular group of free thinkers, atheists, Satanists have picked the Advent season, have picked the month of December, picked December 21st through the 23rd to erect a symbolic expression of their value and worship of Satan. I don't think this is a coincidence at all, and I think it's deplorable. I think that it is unseemly, and that is really bad manners.
Would you feel the same way if it was a nativity scene or anything of that effect?
No, I think a nativity scene is appropriate during Christmas because, of course, there is a long tradition of tying Christmas to the birth of Christ.
It's Christmas. It's holidays. It's multiple people celebrate this time because we all have work off. We all have everybody visits each other, and it's a reason to celebrate. And everybody chooses different ways to celebrate that. But having one singular view, especially coming from the Capitol, promoting one singular view is extremely narrow-minded.
The people of the Satanic chapter of Detroit say they embarked on this project after hearing about a plan for a church installing a nativity scene, a plan they say has been abandoned by the church. This installation will be on display for 3 days starting the 21st.
Of course, the satanic display has a lot of people talking on the Fox 2 Facebook page tonight. Jason writes, "The war on Christianity is alive and well. They won't stop until Satan replaces God in every way. They are truly evil." And Andrea says, "Freedom of religious expression goes both ways, and I choose to mind my own business and just ignore the things I don't like. It's easy. People should try it." Shane writes, "This is why the separation of church and state is a thing. If you don't like this, then you understand how anyone who doesn't agree with you feels when they see nativity scenes set up on government property." Jesse says, "The Capitol is full of satanic worshipers if you ask me, so I don't care. I believe in Jesus regardless of what's going on at the Capitol."